We have some massive new leaks and insider info from Bungie's new Marathon game. We'll go over all the details that include the gameplay loop, as well as the progression systems and possible features that will be present on release. We'll also briefly go over some MTX concerns pertaining to Bungie's previous game, Destiny. We got a lot to talk about. What's up, world? We're back with another video, and today we're checking out all things Marathon. Okay, so let's just get into the massive details, all the details we got surrounding the actual game, as well as how that gameplay loop's gonna work, a ton of different features that we're probably gonna see. First up, most people know what Marathon is, but if you don't know what Marathon is, which is Bungie's latest title, it's an extraction shooter with features that you might find in familiar games like Tarkov. Essentially, it's going to be the same setup where you can jump in solo, duo, trio, or with a team, and you will encounter teams. So if you are jumping in solo, you might encounter a team, kind of like Cycle if you played that as well. But when you jump in, it looks like all players will have a limited supply of oxygen, which essentially acts as the match countdown timer. And once you lose oxygen, the player will begin to lose health. Players can also find O2 canisters or oxygen canisters around the match, which will essentially buy them time. And they can also buy these from vendors on whatever market there is. Maybe there's an auction house or a vendor itself. However, they're going to be extremely expensive, or at least from the details we have here. And hopefully they just mean to in-game currency. Now, the oxygen system also pertains to the actual health of the player as well when you do suffer injuries. So when the player suffers different effects, they will also deplete some sort of oxygen supply depending on the damage caused. Being hit in the waist area may cause damage to your oxygen supply as well, which will also cause it to deplete more rapidly. And this will also cause the player's screen to blur. But there's also some perks built around sustaining your oxygen supply and helping you kind of combat that negative effect. But some perks include faster revives, less O2 usage, faster movement in water. As for abilities though, those seem to be much more game-changing, allowing things like night vision to spot enemy outlines. And obviously the more the player progresses, the more they'll unlock for abilities and perks, so you won't have them right off the bat, you'll have to progress your character. Bungie did disclose that they're aiming this to be an ultimate live service, which from Destiny, I think they do a pretty decent job, although I haven't played it in many years. Although I know that the MTX stuff with Bungie is pretty rough. I just hope it isn't pay to win or anything like that with Marathon. Now they're also trying to get the game down to single-digit load time, which means you'll be in and out, unlike Tarkov where it's 6 or 7 minutes for wait times, or sometimes even longer. Now for the actual core gameplay loop detail, it goes as follows. You're going to choose your player mission to complete in-game. Then you'll also be able to choose your loadout, perks, abilities, and gear, which maybe means that you have to rebuy those perks and abilities every single time, or you'll have to level up your character to have those abilities unlocked, or it could be a combination of both, which seemingly from the previous details of leveling up your character to unlock those abilities seems to be the case. So more than likely, the vendor will offer abilities to you, offer certain things, but you'll have to be a certain level to buy it. It's going to be supposedly easy drop in and drop out play, single-digit load times again. You'll have to hunt for loot, complete missions, explore and find secrets, just like basically Tarkov, or even Cycle has that as well, some sort of in-game mechanics there. Of course, at the very end, before the oxygen runs out, you'll be able to extract. You'll be able to use the XP that you earn from mission to spend on updates or upgrades, and essentially that will be the gameplay loop on repeat. So far, the game offers 3 different types of items, loot, implants, and perks. And they also did declare that perma on live is actually a feature. So that does make sense and coordinate with the buying of perks and abilities. However, they said that the player will lose all their loot, weapons, artifacts, and currency, whereas with implants, sometimes are lost and perks will never be lost. So abilities are probably one of the things that you're going to have to be rebuying, but the perks that you earn or upgrade as you level will be kept forever. We also have a confirmation on the map count, or at least what they're currently planning for release, and that is that they're developing 3 different maps for Marathon. It isn't 100% confirmed if all 3 will be there on launch, however they are currently working on those 3 maps. Now there is no current release date set for Marathon on any platform, but it is only coming to next-gen hardware, so PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and then as well as PC. So no PlayStation 4 and Xbone, which I think is actually going to be a really good thing for, like I said, load times earlier, as well as just keeping the game graphically updated and not having to make any drawbacks on the older platforms or making the game less so for those older platforms to run. Now as for the team size, it is currently limited to 3 players. So you'll only be able to queue by yourself, solo, duo, or trio, which I think does offer a good team balance. I think Tarkov being 4 is a bit much. And this article was from Tom Henderson with Insider Gaming. And a lot of people have pointed out that this guy has been really good with rumors and things like that. So I would suppose that most of this stuff is pretty accurate and either will be on there at launch or maybe even later date. Of course, some things could be tuned and changed. There's always room for that. Now, Bungie has also been trending on Twitter, and at first I thought it was for this Insider Gaming article. However, it seems like it's been for a lot of the Destiny stuff and people being worried for Marathon's future. There's a ton of stuff here with the MTXs, and again, I don't know exactly what's going on on there, but a lot of the MTX stuff, I guess, is really harsh on that game. Let's just hope that it's mostly just battle pass stuff or whatever cosmetic stuff, because of course it's going to be there. It's pretty hard to not have it in the games now that are like this type of looter shooter. Although I wish none of it was there, but yeah, it's probably going to be in the game, so we'll just have to deal at least with that. Hopefully they won't be selling stash tabs or anything like that give a player advantage. Really hope we don't see any of that pay-to-win stuff, but you never know. But back to the marathon details, a few people in the comment section on Reddit have pointed a few things out. We had a comment here from Endless who asked, "No mention of PvE concerns me." However, someone here named Fireresite who said Bungie themselves have stated publicly that there are PvE enemies. So it is confirmed to be a PvPvE, so I'm glad on the confirmation as that, as both Cycle and even Dark and Darker and Tarkov all have this mechanic within them. It is also to note that this is the first AAA studio to actually focus on a dedicated extraction shooter. Now, we did have one in Modern Warfare 2, but it just really wasn't that good, and they definitely didn't focus on that primarily. The multiplayer was definitely focused on. In fact, I think there's even pay-to-win skins for the extraction game mode on Modern Warfare 2 now, so that just completely ruins it, and yeah, it really wasn't that fun. I think a lot of people mostly played the regular multiplayer, and now that they added that pay-to-win stuff, yeah, it's pretty much a done for. Let's just hope that Bungie doesn't take some of those ideas and apply it to this game. Now, we also did have some rumors around the release date of Marathon, as Bungie has confirmed there are plans to release at least one new IP before 2025. Based on that, we can expect Marathon to release late 2024 or early 2025. So we got a whole nother year and a half to speculate on this game and to see new updates, so there's definitely a ton of changes that could happen between now and then. Now, as to the new IP notion, Marathon really isn't a new IP, since Marathon came out way back then, but it is a new IP since Destiny, and even realistically since Halo. The Marathon is pretty old. I am curious if you guys are checking out this game, if you guys are prepping for it, as I'm pretty excited for it. Hopefully there's like a beta coming up or something like that, or even like content creator program that I can jump into and maybe even give more details, or maybe even give away keys. I'll definitely be sure to look out for that and look into that, especially with covering Marathon content, as it's going to be a definite buy for me, even though maybe hopefully there won't be any pay to win, although I'll probably still play it on release. So far it looks really good, the gameplay loop sounds pretty good, and it is Bungie. I've supported them since Halo, I've loved Halo, although we all know where the current state of Halo is with 343. But hopefully Bungie can be the redeeming quality as we've seen with Destiny. So let me know if you guys are checking out Marathon, and if any new details come out or anything gets discussed, I will be sure to cover it here on this channel. Also, I'll link a few videos down below for the Marathon vid doc that got released. I think they kind of went under the radar. I didn't even really hear about this video, so I'll link that down below if you want to check out any of the Marathon stuff that I didn't cover or in the vidoc. There's also some merch that came out for Marathon, however, it's seemingly gone or sold out. So if you're looking for any IRL cosmetics, you're probably going to have to wait until something new or closer to release. So that does about cover for today's video. If you like, and subscribe, and it's the next one. Deuce.